everyone, in this video I'll be covering a general overview for chapter 2 as well as some tips and tricks to help smoothen out the learning. Now this is the first chapter where real chemistry sort of happens, so let's look at some tips and tricks. The first order of business is to discuss relative difficulty. I like to use something called Bloom's taxonomy scale. The rankings are towards the right in the pyramid, and for the most part in this chapter we'll be focusing on understanding. I've also included the recurring concepts in red. It's a spectrum, so orange means you don't need it as much in the future, but you still need it. Now, as said last time, just because something is not in red doesn't mean you can just gloss over it. Make sure to pay special attention to them, but keep your red topics especially strong as they will come back. Tests are cumulative, so in that sense you can commit these topics to your short-term memory. Now, with that being said, let's get into how these topics will be structured and the common way they'll be tested. In terms of videos I've created to explain these topics, I've made 4 total videos. The first one covers the first 4 learning objectives, the second one covering the next 2, and the third one covering the 2 after that, and finally the last one covering the final 2. As far as testing goes, usually teachers like to couple this with the first unit and offer a massive first test. This is because the first unit is pretty easy and the second unit is also somewhat easy, so it's meant to be sort of free points. And as such, you should perform decently well on this exam. Now, as far as tips and tricks go, I highly suggest you watch my videos. I will go exactly into what concepts you need to learn, as well as provide you a test so you can see how well you grasp the concepts. In terms of actual details, I would suggest simple rote memorization for the first learning objective. These are just basic details like electrons, atoms, protons, neutrons, etc. With isotope notation, the easiest and fastest way to solidify this concept is just writing the first 25 elements in this notation by using a periodic table. If you're able to do that, you should be fine overall. With the natural abundance and average, you just want to solve problems. Either search them up or ask ChatGPT. These are really easy concepts, they're just annoying and require precision. Make sure you don't lose stupid points in them like sig figs or just silly errors in the whole. Now, for ionic and covalent bonds, these are pretty important. Make sure you understand this concept pretty well and in depth. Most of it will be a combination of conceptual questions, as some of these will be, is this a covalent or an ionic bond? These are also extremely important in the future, so you make sure you're 100% sure on these. Now, the law of multiple proportions is relatively easy. I would just understand the concepts, don't really need to do much here. Periodic table trends, understanding overall. Here's the thing, the periodic table is a tool that you want to know. It's a tool that you're going to take into every test, so put in the time and understand it. Knowing it better will not only save you time, but can give you crucial hints on questions you'd otherwise guess. My suggestion, try to explain everything about the periodic table to someone or something else. If you can do that, you will be fine. And finally, naming. Just RNG the periodic table and find their names, or ask ChatGPT. Only solving problems are going to help you here, not many tips other than either solve or memorize. Now, one important thing you should know is solving problems like it's the test. Now, I don't mean just looking it over and glossing over the question. I mean sit down, take a periodic table and a calculator you use for the test and solve it. No phones, nothing. And this will ensure you won't fumble calculations during the test. It's basic algebra what you need to do, but people screw that up even after passing calc or diff EQ. Anyways, other than that, there's not much to worry about this chapter. I'm sure you'll do pretty well considering its difficulty. If you pay attention and study well, Gen Chem should be a breeze. Good luck and happy studying.